Hello everyone, welcome to this video by Simplilearn. Today, we will talk about something super important for any team, which is prioritization techniques. Have you ever felt overwhelmed jumping between tasks without knowing which ones really matter? We've all been there, but don't worry. There are ways to get organized and focused. For product managers, prioritization is one of the most crucial skills. It's the key part for any product management interview process. As a product manager, you must prioritize features, requirements, and tasks effectively to ensure your team delivers maximum value to customers. Let me tell you a story about Samantha, who was a part of an agile software team. Their projects were all over the place. They would work on one thing, then another, with no clear plan, missing deadlines, and frustrating clients. That's when Samantha's boss stepped in and taught them about prioritization, deciding which tasks to do first and how important they are. He showed them techniques like Moscow for categorizing tasks as must do, should do, could do, etc., and RICE for scoring tasks based on things like impact and effort. Using these methods, it was a total game changer. With Moscow, they identified the critical task, and RICE helped them to prioritize the high impact work efficiently. Suddenly, projects were organized, work was delivered on time, and clients were happy. As success spread, other teams started prioritizing it too. It boosted productivity across the whole company. Samantha felt proud to be the part of making the work better. From then on, prioritization became the core part of how they operated for clarity and focus on what mattered the most. In this video, we will be covering what is prioritization technique, importance of prioritization, 7 most popular prioritization techniques like Moscow method, Kano Model, weighted shortest job first, RICE scoring model, value versus complexity effort matrix, Eisenhower Matrix, walking skeleton method, etc. Also choosing the right prioritization technique. Before we commence, just a quick update for you.
Craving a career upgrade? Subscribe, like, and comment below. Dive into the link in the description to fast-track your ambitions. Whether you're making a switch or aiming higher, Simplilearn has your back.
If you are interested in becoming Certified Product Manager from SPGN School of Global Management, leverage generative AI as product manager with top product tools such as ChatGPT, Google Bard, GenCraft, Midjourney, and Pixar with 100% interactive and live sessions led by industry experts and SPGN's top faculties. This program focuses on the latest industry trends, advancements, and related industry applications taught by top product experts via live sessions. This SPGN's academic excellence and product expertise from experts from companies like Google, Microsoft, Amazon, and more. So do not forget to check out the course in the description box below and in the pinned comment. So without any further ado, let's get started. At first, we will discuss what is prioritization technique. Well, prioritization technique is a method used to determine the order of importance of task, activities, or elements within a project or process. It helps to identify what needs to be done first, what can wait, and what may not need to be done at all. This technique involves assessing the relative significance, urgency, or impact of different items and arranging them in logical sequence or order of importance. By prioritizing effectively, you can allocate resources, time, and effort more efficiently, ensuring that you address the most crucial aspects first to achieve your goals effectively. But why is prioritizing so important? Let's discuss. The importance of prioritization. Prioritization is crucial for several reasons. At first, we have limited resources. Every team has limited resources, whether time, budget, or manpower. Prioritization helps you make most of these resources by focusing on the most important features first. Then we have customer satisfaction. By delivering the most valuable features first, you can keep your customers happy and engaged with your product. Moving on to competitive advantage. In today's fast-paced market, prioritization can give you a competitive edge by allowing you to quickly adapt to changing customer needs and market trends. Now that we have understood the importance of prioritization, let's dive into some of the most popular prioritization techniques. The 7 most popular prioritization techniques we will discuss today are as follows. At first, we have Moscow method, moving on to Kano Model, Rice scoring model, Eisenhower Matrix, value versus complexity matrix, weighted shortest job first, and then at last we have the working skeleton method. Let us start with the first method, which is the Moscow method. Moscow is a simple way to prioritize tasks and features when working on a project. It stands for must, should, could, and want. Let me break it down for you. Must. These are the essential features that absolutely have to be included. If you do not have these, the project will fail. Then should. These are the important features that you should try to include, but they are not critical. They would be great to have if possible. That's it. Then we have could. These are nice to have smaller improvements or additions, and leaving them out won't really impact the project. Want. These are the lowest priority items that don't match the current needs or goals. You can safely leave these out for now. By separating everything into these 4 buckets, you can get super clear as a team on the true priorities and make sure you're laser focused on checking those must-have boxes first. So what are the pros and cons of this method? Well, first off, it's dead simple. No complex calculation or scoring systems are needed. You can prioritize a massive backlog just by rapidly categorizing each them. It's also flexible since there are no strict rules or timelines within each bucket. If a should item needs to be deprioritized, no problem. Just move it to the cloud or want as needed. And finally, the clear separation into these universal terms helps get everyone, developers, designers, product managers, and stakeholders on the same page instantly when it comes to understanding priorities. Of course, there are some downsides too. While it's easy to categorize, Moscow doesn't give you a specific implementation plan or sequence to follow. You have to figure that part out separately. You can also lack some bigger pictures perspective by just focusing on individual feature priorities. You might miss out the strategic product goals or overarching business objectives. And sometimes those category lines can get you a little blurry. In a certain feature, a must-have or a should. Reasonable people may disagree, but in all, Moscow is a simple yet powerful prioritization technique, especially for smaller projects or tighter scopes where you need priorities locked in quickly. For bigger, more complex undertakings, it can't be your only prioritization method. You likely want to pair it up with something more robust. Let me give you an example of a product. For example, a mobile app for buying crypto. The must would include the ability to buy and sell coins, maintain a portfolio view, and set up payment methods. Those are the essential no-brainer priorities. Shoulds could be things like advanced chart analysis, alerts, price tracking, and maybe even integrated social trading features. They are really valuable, but not required for an MVP. Could might include custom valuable additions, might include captivating video intros or integrated video calling features. Unnecessary additions could be custom app themes. Features user might dislike include intrusive ads or sneaky premium upsells. By prioritizing based on this model, you can perfect the essential experience before focusing on extra features, themes, or watch list, but doesn't break the core experience. And wants for our initial launch could be things like advanced tax tools, purchase of other asset classes, or automating trades with bots, just not crucial priorities for the first version. By categorizing your backlog into Moscow, you can clearly see that you need to prioritize those 3 must-have items above everything else to have a chance at a successful initial launch. The rest can be prioritized separately within their respective buckets. So that's Moscow in a nutshell, a simple, flexible way to rapidly categorize your priorities at a very first step. Next, we have the Kano model. This one is all about making sure that we are delivering what our users want and care about. It splits features into a few buckets: must-have, one-dimensional, attractive, total time wasters, and stuff. That's all. It splits features into few buckets: must-have, one-dimensional, attractive, total time wasters, and stuff. To use it, we survey our potential users and get them to categorize each feature based on how it impacts their satisfaction. The must-have are things that absolutely need for the product to work at all. One-dimensional features are nice to have that will please them if you get them, but disappoint if you don't. Attractive features are awesome bonus points that delight users, but it's no big deal if they are missing. Indifferent stuff doesn't really matter either way. And reverse features are things users actively hate having. The pros are that it really highlights what matters most to customers and ranks features by their priorities. The downsides is that it ignores how difficult these features are to get built. It's also time consuming to get that user feedback in the first place. This is all for the pros and cons, but when does it make sense to use Kano? Well, it's great for branding new products to get an initial reality check before you start designing, or for validating prototypes and making sure you're on the right track. Let me now give you an example. Say like you're building a dating app, the must-have might be the ability to create profile, browse potential matches, and message people. One-dimensional could be stuff like advanced filtering, super likes, etc. Valuable additions might include captivating video intros or integrated video calling features. Unnecessary additions could be custom app themes. Features user might dislike include intrusive ads or premium upsells. By prioritizing based on this model, you can ensure you perfect the essential experience before focusing on extra features. Next, we got the RICE model, which is little more number driven. It scores each feature by looking at 4 factors: the reach or number of users who use it, the impact it have, your confidence in its success, and the manpower, effort required to build it. You grade each factor like impact, which could be massive, high, medium, low, or minimal. Then you plug those ratings into a formula to get a RICE score. Higher scores means higher priorities. It scores each feature by looking at 4 factors: the reach or number of users who will use it, the impact it will have, your confidence in its success, and the manpower effort required to build it. You grade each factor like impact, which could be massive, high, medium, low, or minimal. Then you plug those ratings into a formula to get a RICE score. Higher scores means higher priorities. The pros of RICE are that it's comprehensive, accounting for user value, technical cost, risk, and all that good stuff. And it uses real metrics instead of just gut feelings. The cons are that it can be calculation heavy for every single feature, and you might be missing some of the data points for brand new products. Now, why does it make sense to use RICE? It's awesome for established products with good product metrics and usage data to draw them. Probably not the best approach for totally fresh projects without any of those numbers yet. Let's look at an example of a yoga studio app. For a new class booking feature, reach could be around 25,000 monthly active users. Impact could be massive, like 3 on the scale. Confidence in its success is medium to high, so maybe considering it to 80%. And the engineering effort is estimated around 3% months. Plugging into that formula, the RICE scores come out to be 25,000 into 3, multiplying by 0.8, which is around 20,000. You can then compare that against the scores for other potential features and prioritize accordingly. Moving on to the next model, which is the Eisenhower Matrix, we don't have any complicated formulas here. Just simply divide your task into 4 buckets based on whether they are urgent, important, both, or neither. The urgent and important stuff goes into the top priority bucket to be tackled immediately. Important, not urgent tasks go in the scheduled bucket for later. Urgent but unimportant fire drills get isolated in their quadrant so you can properly manage those. And then at the last area is for the total time wasters, neither urgent nor important. The pros of this method are it's very simple to use and that it keeps you focused on the truly important tasks that drive business value. The downside is that it's quite subjective and qualitative. No hard numbers or scoring system is involved. You might be wondering, why should we use the Eisenhower Matrix? Well, it works great as a personal time management framework or as a first pass for broadly prioritizing a bunch of tasks. But most likely, we want to complement it with some other techniques for a more rigorous product prioritization. Let's look at an example of a brand new e-commerce business. The urgent and important stuff is setting up the payments and shipping integrations would be a top priority. Important but not urgently needed tasks are implementing product filters or recommendations would go in the schedule it section. Redesigning the logo just cause would be urgent but unimportant busy work. Adding multi-language support way down the line would be the lowest priority section since it's neither urgent nor crucial for the launch. Next, we've got the value versus complexity matrix. This one is similar to the Eisenhower Matrix as it works with the quadrants and dimensions, but instead of urgent and important, it accesses value and complexity. With this one, we map out each feature based on its expected user or business value on one axis and the implementation complexity or engineering effort level on the other. We can use whatever scoring or definitions make sense, but the goal is to prioritize these high-value, low-complexity items first since they're easy wins. Really valuable but high-complex stuff comes next. After that is the low-value, low-complexity stuff we have. The pros are that it balances business user demands with what's feasible to build, looking at the value and effort, and then we can tweak the scoring criteria according to our needs. The cons are that it can still be pretty subjective and may not be ideal for massive code bases and products. But when does value versus complexity work well? It's perfect for smaller teams and products early in the life cycle when you need to ruthlessly prioritize. Not the greatest for large, complex, established products with crazy requirements. Let me give you an example of a productivity app. A high-value, low-complexity features might be the core ability to create and assign tasks super useful and not too hard to build. A high-value, high-complexity one could be integrated with all other major productivity tools. Low-value, high-complexity might be some insane reporting dashboard with a zillion visualizations. And the low-value, low-complexity stuff could be like smaller tweaks, custom emoji support, etc. By mapping those out, you can prioritize the top left quadrant of a major value adds with minimal effort first. Alright, we are getting into some of the heavyweights. Weighted shortest job first or WSJF. It uses some heavy duty calculations, but for a good reason. For each feature, you estimate the cost delay and how much you're losing by not having that feature. Then you look at the job durations or how long it will take to implement. You score the cost of delay based on factors like user business value, how time sensitive it is, whether it reduces risk, and so on. Higher scores means higher cost of delays. Then you divide the cost of delay by the job duration to get WSJF score for each feature. The pros of WSJF are that it's detailed, consistent calculation approach and it optimizes for faster ROI with limited resources. The cons are that it gets calculation heavy quickly and may unintentionally deprioritize bigger long-term projects. Use WSJF when you need to double down on those minimum marketable features and quick, high-impact wins. Don't rely on it too much for full-blown product roadmaps though. Let me show you an example. Adding an offline mode to the Notes app. Take a look at the cost of delay factors. The user business value is high, maybe 4 out of 5, since it's frequently requested feature. The time criticality is also high, 5 by 5, since it's the pain point for the users. And it reduces the risk of potential data loss, so say 4 by 5 for risk reduction. Adding those up, the total cost of delay is 30. If we calculate the job duration to be around 2 months, then the WSJF score comes out to be 13 divided by 2, which is 6.5. You would calculate scores that weigh out for potential features too. Then prioritize the ones with the highest scores, like offline mode first. Last but not the least, we've got the walking skeleton method. This one is all about identifying and prioritizing only the bare minimum core features needed to ship an initial MVP, which means minimum viable product, that basic walking version of your product. The idea is to map out the skeletal requirements that are critical for the product to function and show its core value proposition to users. The pros are that it enables fast prioritization and MVP delivery. We can get the market quickly, test our scores, idea, user feedback, and iterate rapidly from there, instead of over-engineering an overstuffed version. The cons are that it will be shipping a pretty basic product initially by cutting out tons of extra features. And there's a risk of taking it too far and crippling the product if you're not careful. Use the walking skeleton method when we are focused on delivering an MVP as soon as humanly possible to validate your idea and get moving. Don't use it as your sole prioritization technique for full product roadmaps though. Let me give you an example of a brand new video streaming service. Using the walking skeleton approach, the top priorities would be ability to browse a video catalog, playing those videos back smoothly, user login and subscription functionality. That's the core skeleton. Everything else like recommendation, watch list, parental controls would all be delayed for future iterations after getting the MVP out. By hyper-focusing only on these critical first few steps, we can take an entirely new product from concept to market fast while still shipping a functional experience to start generating feedback and data. Let us now discuss how to choose the right prioritization technique. When considering the prioritization method, keep in mind the following criteria. Simplicity. The simpler the method, the faster you can prioritize. Data-driven prioritization. Some methods rely more on assumptions while others are based on proven data. Balance between technology constraints and business value. Some methods focus more on customer value while others consider technical complexity. Best use case, prioritizing for an MVP might require different techniques than prioritizing for a mature product. Remember, these methods are not mutually exclusive and you can combine them at different stages of your product development lifecycle. So there you have it, a full breakdown of different prioritization techniques from the statistical model to the dead simple matrices. Each one has its own pros and cons. And certain methods will make it more sense than others depending on your project stage, complexity and data availability. So that's all for the video today on prioritization technique. If you enjoyed this video and found it valuable, don't forget to like and share. If you have any questions, you can drop them in the comment section below. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next video.
Staying ahead in your career requires continuous learning and upskilling. Whether you're a student aiming to learn today's top skills or a working professional looking to advance your career, we've got you covered. Explore our impressive catalog of certification programs in cutting-edge domains, including data science, cloud computing, cybersecurity, AI, machine learning, or digital marketing path to career success. Click the link in the description to know more.
Hi there, if you like this video, subscribe to the Simplilearn YouTube channel and click here to watch similar videos. To nerd up and get certified, click here.